Hey, welcome back to the final recap video of MelCon 2021, and this is a recap of day 3, so the Sunday that we played some games in the final day. Probably was the shortest day of gaming, but definitely there was some amazing games that was played. Actually, this picture was taken on day 3. So let's have a look at what was played on the last day of MelCon. So the first one that we played was Quest for Eldorado. Actually, my sister came to the day 2 of MelCon and stayed the night, and then I texted her in the morning to say, hey, we should play a game when you get up. And then she sent me a picture of this game all set up, waiting for me to get out of bed. And it was only like 8:30 in the morning, but yeah, so she had gone to Tim's, grabbed her coffee, was already waiting for me to join. So that was the first game that we played. So Quest for Eldorado is a neat one. It's a racing, oops, sorry, I went too far here. It's a racing game because you've got, when you're playing 2 players, you each have 2 meeples that you control. When there's more players, you each have 1. But the goal is to make it across the map and get to the temple, I think it is, or the City of Gold, or something like that. And it's a deck builder, so you want to have the proper card to be able to get through different terrains. Or you can use your cards to purchase more cards. There's 5 main cards that you can purchase, but then when you utilize those, and if they're gone, then you get to go into the other cards that are pending, waiting to be brought down into the market, and then you kind of get your pick of the litter. Basically, there's lots of cards to pick from, and then once that fills the market, then those are the cards you have available again until there's another opening. Neat game. This is one that my sister had and had never played, so that's why she set it up, so she could learn how to play that one. And then we played a game of Kitchen Rush. Kitchen Rush is a really neat game because it's a worker placement game, kind of in the setting of a restaurant. So you have people that come in and you got to take their orders. Well, you got to sit them down, take their orders. Then you got to get the ingredients for what they want. You got to get the proper plates to put all the ingredients on. Then you got to cook that food and season it properly. And then get the waiter to bring their food back to them. And you're doing this all worker placement, and your workers are sand timers. So you have you can send your worker to go and cook at the stove, but then you got to wait for the sand timer to be done before that worker can do something else. You got to wash the dishes so that you have clean plates to do more recipes. You also have to go shopping for more ingredients if you run out. It's a very interesting, very thematic game. We really enjoyed this one, and actually she ended up borrowing it so she could play it again, so it was a hit for her for sure. Then we played Silver and Gold, which is a small flip and write game. The interesting with this one is you write with a dry erase marker directly on the cards, and at first that feels a little wrong. But as you cover things over, you'll score on that. So if you cover a coin, you get to mark the coin. If you're the first one to complete a row of coins, you get to go and claim the trophy for that. And then the trophy is worth more when you're the first one there, and then they start to be worth a little bit less. There's palm trees, and then the palm trees score depending on how many palm trees are faced up in the main area. So it's a very fun, quick, neat game. Definitely a filler game. This one plays quickly. It's not one that, kind of will be a big brain burner or anything like that. But it's a fun one, definitely, and I'm glad we have it in our collection. And then we played The Princess Bride. This one was neat. So it's a book, and then you open, and each page of this book is a different map and a different scenario that takes you through the story of the Princess Bride. And it's very thematic because the whole goal is to accomplish different things for each scenario, and to do so before the grandson who's listening to the story gets bored and lose interest in the story. So very thematic to the movie. This particular one, this is my friend's copy, and he had brought it over, and he had painted all the figurines. So the game looked great. We just played the first scenario just to kind of give it a try, and it was neat. And then I played Dice Throne Adventure, and I'm a huge Dice Throne fan. I have Dice Throne Season 1 and Season 2. And with Dice Throne, so every different characters get their own set of deck, their own custom dice, And you play with those characters from those previous 2 games. So you select whichever character that you want. And then the Dice Throne Adventure, instead of battling against each other, and it's like Yahtzee battle style, right? Where you roll your dice, you can re-roll up to 3 times trying to get a combination of symbol that's going to activate one of your abilities. Most of the time, it's some sort of attack. And you get to do that, but in this one, it takes it into a dungeon crawl. So you build up the map that's in the middle there, so you see all those little cards. And as you go onto it, you flip it over, and you'll discover something there. So a different level of monsters. And you got to go around the map looking for the... I think it's like part of a dice. I'm not sure what they were calling it, but you need to find 3 of them in order to open the portal. And once you get all the map, kind of discover what you needed to get the 3 pieces of the portal, then the portal opens and you go to the big boss monster then. It was neat. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. I love Dice Throne, as I mentioned, so Dice Throne Adventure makes it a cooperative instead of a 1 versus 1 battle type, but you still get that satisfaction of rolling your dice, trying to activate your attacks. You can get cards to upgrade some of your attacks, make them more powerful. If you can roll all 6, or the symbol that's for 6, then you get the ultimate attack. It's so satisfying to play, and to play it as a dungeon crawl one was really amazing. This particular version came with the minis, so each character that they had a little painted miniature, like they're pre-painted, so it's not they weren't individually painted. I played as Treant, I'm not sure how you pronounce that one, which is a new character that they brought out for Season 1 reroll. I have the original Season 1, so I hadn't seen that one. That's why I wanted to play it as that one. It was great. Definitely on my wish list. I want to get this game now. The only thing that I would say is it looks like it's campaign, and now I haven't set it up. My friend set it all up. I just played that first game. But then afterwards, once we completed the battle, like, it's like, okay, well, now you've unlocked these other cards, so you get to add that to your deck. And, like, your character changed as you progress, which is great. Campaign makes the game very interesting. But I'm hoping that they're not all campaign. Because when I'm bringing this out to play with some people that randomly come and hang out, I don't want to be tied into a campaign with people that are just one-time players, or to have one-time players play the game and then it affect the campaign that we've got going on, which I'm getting a little bit with Jaws of the Lion. It's me and Lee who are playing it, and just because we don't have anybody that can commit to playing every time we want to play. So with the campaign, that's my one drawback with it. And now I'm not sure if Dice Throne Adventure is completely that way. Just because, as I mentioned, I didn't set it up. Maybe campaign is optional and you can just do the different scenarios and then the different map if you wish. That's something for me to look into. And then the last game I played that day was Lost Rune of Arnac. I had bought this copy with some birthday money that I had gotten, and I was really excited about it. My friend, a neighbor, had mentioned that he had gotten it and how much he enjoyed it. And this is a neat game. Like, I would say, at first I would say it's a worker placement game, but it's really not. Because you have so many different main actions that you can do, and you keep going until you run out of main actions to do. Now, one of those main action is to place two meeples. So you have 2 meeples you can place, but that's worker placement, but it's only part of the different actions that you can do. You can purchase cards. You can increase your knowledge, up the knowledge track. Like, there's a lot of other things that you can do as well that would be considered a main action that's not a worker placement, but definitely worker placement is part of it. So with this one here, you're going to be collecting resources on the main part of the board so that you can spend them on the knowledge to kind of increase your knowledge, because the higher you go, the more points it is. A lot of different things will give you points, and at the end of the game, it's whoever has the most points, the winner. So you can completely spend this game kind of controlling on just opening up spaces, because when you open up different spaces, every guardian that you defeat will give you points. So there's different ways of getting points doing just that. And you won't get access to the resources if you don't have open spaces, but then utilizing those spaces afterwards, because that's open to everybody, is what you spend to go up the knowledge track as well, which is another way of getting points. Then buying the artifact and buying items are worth points as well. It's very neat. There's so much going on, different things that you can do. I really enjoyed it. I know when I opened the box the first time, the components are great. I like the board. The board is beautiful to look at. All the things, the way it all goes together is great. The box itself has no insert. It comes with all bunch of stuff and a roll of baggies for you to bag everything. So they didn't even try to put an insert. But it's a great game. I really enjoyed it. I'm pleased that I got that one. So those are some of the components that you can see. You got the gems, you got the arrowheads, and then the I don't know what they're called, parchment or something. And this, because you're buying more cards, so it has a deck building portion to this as well. You'll be acquiring assistant that you can utilize and do different things. It's just a great game. While we were on the third day of MelCon, my friend brought Radlands, which is a new Roxley game that's about to come out, so it's not out yet. And you know what? I have played the prototype of that one a few years back, but this is kind of the final product and what it looks like, and the packaging is so amazing. So it's a magnet closed box, and you lift the lid, and then you get the 2 sets of cards in there, because it's a 1 versus 1 game, and all the token goes in the middle section. The way that the game is put together is so amazing, but then I expect nothing less from Roxley, because they do such great packaging. He had also brought Steampunk Rally Fusion. I love Steampunk Rally. I haven't got the Fusion one, so that the Fusion one was there, which is the next version I get. It was described to me that there was more player interaction, which to me means more take that, which is not something that really appeals to me. So I really like my original Steampunk Rally. Eventually I'll try the Fusion one, see what I think of it. And I didn't get a chance to get to it at MelCon, but hopefully one day. And then these are other games that some of the other people were playing. So they played Brass Birmingham. They also played On Point. On Point looked interesting. It looks like you're trying to work your way up to become a prima ballerina. And from what it sounded like, this game was pretty cutthroat. But I haven't played it. This is something that was being played at another table. So that was it for MelCon. It was an amazing, amazing weekend. I can't wait to do another gaming event. As of right now, I'm just doing my regular game nights again. Because we can, and I'm so happy for that. So please follow me on Facebook at Didsbury and Area is playing all the games. I am also on Instagram as BoardGame_Mama, and on YouTube, my channel is BoardGameMama. Take care, everybody.